Good morning, everybody. Oh, let me turn. Let me turn. Good morning, folks. I know I'm later than usual. I know that this AM. But good morning to y'all. Y'all know we have the State of the Union today. So I figure this is actually before I even put that up. Well, no. We're gonna start there. We're gonna start with the State of the Union because we all know that the State of the Union is happening tonight, and I expect the president to show up and be his usual non-presidential self, right? I expect him to show up and show out like he usually does. That's my expectation for him tonight. I don't expect anything grand. He's gonna be now. I'm gonna tell you what I want him to do. I want him to act a fool. Hey, Shane, good morning to you. I want him to act a fool and come after the Supreme Court. Because Republicans love to say, oh, he's not going to do that. He understands the constraints. It isn't. My whole point has been, it's not that Trump doesn't understand. He doesn't care. Hey, Kiara, good morning. He doesn't care. That's the issue. He just doesn't care. Because see, there's a difference between not understanding something and not caring about it. Those are two different things. Trump understands. He does not care. So when people always say that, oh, maybe the president doesn't understand. Yes, he does. He don't care. And sometimes when he doesn't understand, he doesn't care to understand either. That's why I be trying to tell y'all, don't make this assumption most of the time that it's from lack of understanding. No, it's from lack of care. That's what it is. He don't care about us. What he cares about is his rich crony friends. And remember, Donald Trump was getting so many favors and money from the big business owners coming to the White House, groveling, and giving him things in exchange for not having to get tariffs implemented on them. That's what a big part of it was. So that's another reason why Trump is mad that the Supreme Court took away, that they said that some of his tariffs were unlawful because he's using them to make money. So he felt some type of way and still implemented more. So I think these new ones are for just 130 days or so, 150 days, something like that. And I'm assuming in that time frame, Trump is going to look for something else he can do to replace the tariffs that are going to expire in those 100 and something days. So trust me, Trump is here to be a disruptor. I keep telling y'all that one of Trump's jobs is to be a disruptor, and he's doing just that. And he's doing it all the way. Okay. Just so you know, Trump knows exactly what he's doing. He just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. And until the public wakes up, nothing's going to change. Now, before we get into, you say Trump keeping folks from paying. Yep, exactly. Because they're so busy focused on Trump, they're not paying attention to other things. Trump is a distraction. He's just a distraction. You say one big company is listen, you know what I see in this, Russ? This is my thing. You know how people will run around and say, America's not paying the tariffs. China's paying the tariffs. So riddle me this, Batman. If China's paying the tariffs, why are American companies going to be suing to get money back? That's my response to all the people before who were saying, oh no, China pays the tariffs. We don't pay the tariffs. Then why are American companies then looking to get money back? Hey, Miss Sipsy, let me stop for a second. Good morning to everybody. Thank you for joining me. Happy Tuesday. Okay. Don't forget today, for those of you in Patreon, the newest episode of the Straight No Chaser podcast is going to drop today. And it kind of goes in line with what I was just mentioning to you all about I'm trying to see something. to give so for what's going on and all of this stuff and everything. I'm asking the question in today's episode: who absorbs all these costs ultimately for the bad choices made by government? You understand where I'm coming from? Who ultimately absorbs all the cost, right? Because it won't be the businesses, because the businesses will pass on those increased costs to us. So I want to talk. So that's what I'm talking about in today's episode. So those of you who are members of Patreon, you get it a day before everybody else. The newest episode of the Straight No Chaser podcast is going to drop on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Y'all absolutely right. We pay those added costs. China was never paying the tariffs, just like Mexico ain't gonna pay for the wall. It's us. And listen, I'm gonna tell you something else. Ain't no wall gonna continue to be built because Trump is using all the money for ICE and customs and shit. He's using it on people. So when Trump is done, still ain't gonna be. Remember, the first time it was barely any wall built. The first time. It's always little hand magic. Always. He always claims he's going to do X, but he ain't going to do that. He always going to do Y. Why? Because he's about selling wolf tickets. That's what Trump does. He sells wolf tickets, then gets mad at you for not letting that shit go. He almost acts like, you knew I was lying, right? Why the fuck are you still talking to me about this? It's almost giving that. Hey, Zarvis, good morning. That's what it gives. Hey, Tease. It gives that energy to me. Bitch, you knew I was lying. It's like being with a guy and you know he's a fucking cheater, but you won't go nowhere. That fool looking at you like, bitch, really? Like the fuck? Like you already know what the fuck I am. You keep asking me to be honorable and shit. Like, really? The problem is not me. The problem is you, because I know who I am. He's like, I know who I am. Bitch, you ain't caught the hint yet? Like what? You asking me for something that I can't give you, and I don't even understand why you still asking for me. Same thing, yep, or like a 304. Same thing. It's just like that. It's just like that. Donald Trump is the same way. Y'all know I'm lying to you. Why the fuck are you asking me to make good on the shit that I told you I would do when you knew I had no intention of doing that shit? Outside of immigration. Catch that part. Can I just say I love that he's handling this immigration shit in terms of a whole lot of people who voted for this shit, their family members getting snatched up. Good. Good. I told y'all that's why I won't march. That's why I don't protest about the shit. Oh no. Fuck, I look like protesting for people that purposely wanted their family members round up. He say Trump-related files missing from DOJ files released according to DOJ index. Some Trump-related files are not in there, but a lot, I'm telling you, Trump's name is mentioned more in those Epstein files than Jesus's name is mentioned in the Bible. He's in there, just got dead. I told y'all where to check out. Go on Reddit. There's a group on Reddit called Epstein. When you go to Reddit, search for the word Epstein, and then you're going to sort by communities. Go to the R Epstein community. Let me tell you, those people are digging, okay? Like digging, hardcore digging, okay? Trust me on this. One of the reasons I feel like Trump wanted to be president again was to block the release of the files. And did you see the EU? Yep. I talked about that, I think, last week, about how the EU is developing its own payment system. It's literally developing. You're absolutely right, Shane. It's really developing their own payment system. Why? Because the EU remembered and realized that all the data of all of their residents in that region, all of their data is being shared with American companies. And let me tell you, the EU takes privacy way more seriously than America does. Now, there are states in the union that take privacy very seriously, like California. California don't fuck around with the privacy of its residents. Not at all. Okay? But the EU in and of itself, they don't fuck around with privacy. So they know it's no need for their citizens' data to be shared with American companies, except if you're spending with American companies. Right? But okay. Okay. Now, I want to show y'all something. I talked about this morning. I put it up in a video this morning. Hold on, let me find it. Did y'all see this? Did y'all see this? Honey, this is why y'all see all this fucking crashing out happening in America. That's why. Okay? This is why. Okay? You saw Azarvis. They already in the comments mad. You saw them. Like they real triggered about my Tourette's post yesterday. My Tourette's post and send somebody to the hood. I'm like, my God, the education system is so bad in America. They cannot accept sarcasm. They don't even know how to spell it, let alone recognize it when it's in the room. I was just like, you know what? Let them argue. So I'm just looking at the comments like this. Y'all ever seen that movie Holiday Heart? I am looking at those comments like I'm Holiday. I'm like this. Like, look at what I created. I'm so proud. Like, bruh. I don't even argue with them. I just it's other people in the comments going toe to toe with them. Oh, so you want to fight disabled people now? Okay, whatever you think I want to do, you knock yourself out. I don't argue with them people. You one of them people, Kiara, in the comments. I laugh my ass off in them comments. I read them, but I don't respond to a lot of them. Do I think the MasterCard situation will economically? No, it won't collapse us. Nah. What's going to happen is now MasterCard and Visa are going to look at more ways to get money from Americans. Hold on, my daughter down here being loud. See, we not having that. I just told her earlier, her sister is still sleeping. Every time, excuse me, y'all, hold on for a second. Y'all going to hear me with this microphone. Because every time, right, people in this house sleeping and she on social media being all loud in the morning. No, we not doing that. We not doing that. You need to get yourself a microphone. Hey, Shawty, you're too loud. I can hear you all the way in the living room. Crystal clear. You're yelling. Calm down. All right, y'all. I had to stop for a second to deal with mothering things, you know, and I have to talk to them the way they talk to me. You know what I mean? Because that's how they talk to me. Bruh. The fuck? The fuck? Look, here go one of the shirts I got for Mother's Day. Look. Mom, bruh. It might as well be that last one because it's always like, oh, they call you dog. Chill. You know what I find funny? When you match the energy, then they go, why you being like that? I'm like, but I thought this is what we was doing though. I thought this is what we was doing. Oh, I don't like when you do it. Well, I don't like when you do it either, but you don't stop. So what we gonna do? What we gonna do now? It's all fucked up now, huh? What we gonna do now? Exactly. I'm all for matching the energy, okay? I'm like, listen, I ain't never called my mama bruh. You know what I mean? Never. We too comfortable around here. I keep trying to remind these children, I am not your little friend. Ain't that what our parents used to say? I am not your little friend. They love to say that shit. I am not your little friend, okay? That's me. I am not your little friend, honey. Okay? I'm going to tell you what's so funny, okay? All right, hold on. Before we keep talking on this conversation, I got to show y'all a picture, right? Okay, where's that? Let me find it. Because this shit is going to crack. Okay, this is so cute. Okay, here go my little niecey poo, right? Y'all know I love to talk about my little niecey poo, right? So why is my little niecey poo starting to do that 6'7" shit? Why is she doing that? Why is she doing 6'7"? It's the cutest little thing though. I don't even know what it means. I know she don't know what it means. She just see her little cousins doing it. So now she like 6'7". I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know what that means. Let's talk about Bluey. That I understand. I don't understand it. But look at it. Ain't she so cute? That's our baby right there. She's so adorable. She always just be looking so cute. She is such a girly girl. Okay, let me stop. This is my little tink tink right here. This is my little tink tink right there. That's my girl right there. I love me some little tink tink. Every time I see her, I be like, there go my baby. Look at her. Okay, let me stop because I'm gonna get sidetracked. I'm gonna be in auntie mode and get all sidetracked. Y'all see, I love my little baby. I love my little baby. She's adorable, ain't she? She just adorable. Oh, oh. If I wasn't right in the head, it would actually make my uterus flip and make me want a baby. Not. I ain't that crazy. Catch that part. I ain't that crazy. You know how, like, when you a certain age, you be like, oh, they make me want to have a baby. No. I'm not at that age anymore that it makes me feel like that. I just go, y'all do that. Go right ahead. Y'all do that. But as the look, I'm about to hit a segue on you, right? I told y'all when I read this article yesterday about this study. Now hold on. Let me go back to the article because I want to tell y'all about this again. When I saw this yesterday, I was like, oh, that explains a lot of the anger that a lot of people have, and they feel like the country is changing. The country is changing. And guess what? They can do all the deportations they want. It ain't changing back. Right? I have 2 children. I have 2 daughters. It's not changing back. Right? That's why it's imperative that the country do something about racism. Because at some point, the people who have been able to benefit from a racist structure are turning into the minority. Right? And so if you don't fit Teorema or whatever, I only talk to people with names that don't have so many consonants in them. Sorry, beloved, you've been blocked. We ain't talking about Tourette's over here. I know exactly what Tourette's is. Do you know what sarcasm is? But thank y'all for the views, though. But America is not changing back to what it was. See, a lot of these deportations, right, they're scared. What did I tell y'all before? Didn't I tell you that racism, like racists in America, they know racism exists, but they benefit from it. So they ain't trying to do nothing about it. And want me to tell you when you'll know. This is how you'll always know that they know racism is real. You know how they know it's real? Because they're concerned about brown people, black people. That's why. They're concerned about being outnumbered. That's why. That's why you know racism exists. Because if racism didn't exist, why would you care about being a minority? Think about it. They always say minorities always getting free shit. Then why wouldn't they want to be a minority and get all that free shit? Because even they don't believe that bullshit. It's a lie. It's propaganda. It's the bullshit that they say to make themselves feel good. But it's bullshit. I'm just telling y'all, it's outright bullshit. None of it's real. And they're concerned, right? They were concerned about the fact that, what does it say? First time in U.S. history, minority births surpass white births. White women are not having babies for a reason, right? They're not having babies for a reason. But nobody wants to talk about that. See, white women ain't stupid. They're like, why the fuck would I be having babies? For motherfuckers that don't even treat me like a human being. Yeah, later for that. You go find somebody else to have your baby. This is why y'all see such an influx of men running to these other countries, these passport bros. And can I say, I love how America cracking down on immigration is also impacting passport bros. Can I just say I love that shit? Nothing says America like a man who can't find a woman here, but now he can't travel and get one either. Can I just say it's some of the most beautifulest shit I've ever seen? I'm about to hit you with a Keith Murray. The most beautifulest thing in this world. That's what it is. It's beautiful to watch. So this is why online y'all see them crashing out more, right? Because their little girlfriend in the other country, look, they can't go visit her because they money tight. See, Trump done fucked the money up, right? So they money tight. They can't go visit nobody. And their mama, who used to give them the money to help them go visit their little boo overseas, mama like, listen, groceries cost too much. And you don't even pay me rent to live here. I can't keep giving you money to go visit this woman. I love every minute of this shit. Me too, Kiki. I cracks the fuck up. And then they sit online and be like, this is why women can't get no man. Let me tell you something. If you see a woman and she ain't got no man, it ain't that she can't get one. Men are easy to get. Some of the easiest shit to get in America, I'm going to tell you a couple easy things to get in America. A pew-pew, pharmaceuticals, a man. A man ain't hard to get. Now, a good one is different. I didn't say a good one. I said a man. Men are easy. That's why men always talk about 304s. And they always talk about women being 304s. The original 304 is a man. Okay? This how come they can always spot a 304 a mile away. Folks know they can see themselves in other people. And male 304s can always spot a female 304. Why? Because they 304s too. I told y'all this a couple weeks ago. Remember I said that. You're going to have to look it up. I can't say it all the way here. It's like a gardening tool the one time. It's like a gardening tool. But that's why they act like that. And see, gone are the days of men being able to shame women into submission. That shit don't work no more. Right? Not in America. Can't shame a woman into submission no more. You can't even shame a woman into marriage no more. Because that was a big thing for a long time in America. If a woman didn't have a man, society would look down on her and be like, oh, she couldn't get a man. If a woman didn't have kids, oh, she can't have kids. That ain't even it. There's an influx of, and they're married couples too that aren't having children. They're choosing not to have kids. Why would they have kids? I told y'all yesterday, another study says, in order for childcare not to take over 7% of your pay, y'all got to make over $400,000 a year. Most people ain't making $400,000. So daycare eating your ass up. Exactly. Kids are very expensive. And not only are they not expensive, are they expensive, there is no safe space for them. They're going to have to go to school one day, and school is one of the most unsafe locations for children in America. So why would people have kids? See, the rich and powerful only want you to have kids so your kids can go into low-wage jobs. They need more workers. That's it. They need more workers. That's the only reason why they want to keep encouraging you to have children, but they don't want to improve the quality of life so you can provide a better quality of life for your children. Children now will have a worse life than their parents. Children now are going to have a worse life than their parents. Not a better life, a worse one. So why would you have kids? Say it again, Grace. Government stay shut down more than it stay open. Why would you have kids? This is why I be trying to tell folks, and I'm going to tell you something. A man will try really quickly to get you knocked up and pregnant and have you having babies, but that don't mean he going to be there. You stand with John at the BAFTAs? Good. Stand with him over there. Both of y'all, because I could smell that smell when you came in. So stand over there with John at the BAFTAs. Blocked. My question, you know what? Something I figured out looking in the comments of videos online. It's a lot of sensitive ass people online. And you know what I also figured out? It's because they don't have no life. They don't have a life outside of social media. These people fight harder on social media for people they don't know. They don't fight this hard for their own kids. They don't show up at no PTAs. They don't show up. They just don't show up where they need to be in their real life. In their real life, they suckers. But online, they feel so strong. They just be typing online. And I just be sitting there going, do you really rep this hard in your own life? Because if you did, you wouldn't be an incel. They wouldn't be incels if they actually fought this hard for themselves. But I'm telling you, the reason why y'all see so many people fight for causes all the time online and shit is for one reason and one reason only. They ain't fighting for themselves. They ain't fighting for themselves. Yeah, you're right, Zarvis. It's easy to hide behind a keyboard on the internet. I figured that out with these people a long time ago. They love to hide online behind a fucking keyboard. They love it. And I'm going, the time that they spend online fighting people is so weird to me. Because in order to fight people online the way they do, it has to spark an emotional reaction out of them. Let me tell you something. When I do my content, my entire goal, and I find it so odd that these types of people haven't picked up on it yet. But my goal is to trigger people emotionally with my content. Whether I trigger you emotionally because you agree with it, or I trigger you because you don't. And the people who don't crash every time in the comments. It's easy work. It's not even hard anymore at this point. It's easy. It's like I already know what's going to trigger them. I already know. Yeah, I'm trying to encourage critical thinking, but what I find with people, because see, I was raised in the 70s and 80s, right? Coming up in grade school and 90s. We were pressed to, our teachers forced critical thinking. Like you had to think beyond the surface. You know what I'm saying? You had to think beyond the surface. So many people are so used to reacting to their feelings. And I was raised that feelings are not facts. Why are you so fucking emotional? Their inability to look at things and just see them for what they are, they see them through the lens of emotion, then you're not really seeing anything. You got to sit your emotions off to the side so you can handle business. That's what I'm just telling you what I was taught. I remember one of the conversations my mother had with me when I first started working. My mother said, listen, that over emotional female bullshit, don't you be taking that shit to work. Okay? Because see, this was back when it was more men in jobs than women. Okay? This was back when my mother used to say to me, listen, the thing about men is this, it's not that they don't have emotions. It's just that for most of them, they're better at regulating those emotions, and they separate emotions from making money. They separate emotions from being intimate, because those are two different things. See? So as a young woman, you need to understand that separation so you don't get your feelings hurt. So you don't put yourself in a situation where they looking at you like you're an over emotional chick, always emotional. You're not going to catch me doing that at work. Even if I feel some type of way about something, I'm going to go in the bathroom and cry in the stall, wipe my face, get myself together, and go on back out there and do my job. But you ain't going to catch me slipping. I ain't going to even let you think that you are. Oh, you got approved for drum beat. Awesome. Awesome, woman. Now get your ass on Drumbeat and start making content. Look, I didn't even check Drumbeat yesterday to even see if they had any new opportunities on there. But they still have the 3 about Black History Month. It's over 50% of the money still there. I need to cut my Black History video today. They still got money for the Olympics and government surveillance stuff. Oh, yeah, and those are the only ones they have right now. But I'm thinking today or tomorrow, they'll add some more stuff. That's my thought. Drumbeat is okay, I'll take a second to tell you about it. Drumbeat is an app that pays you for making videos about certain subjects. They tell you you don't post your videos on there. You post your videos on apps like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and they pay you for the views you get. They don't care how many followers you have. That's why I tell people about it, because say, for example, you don't have 10,000 followers and you can't get in the creative rewards program here on TikTok. You can still make money with your stuff. You still can. You can still make money with your content with Drumbeat. So go to hellodrumbeat.com. I'm not gatekeeping on it. I'm telling everybody about it. I have already made $1,319.76 from Drumbeat. Hallie, I'm gonna give you a tip for the future. If you work on your hook for your videos, remember the first 1 to 2 seconds. Thank you, Kiki, for putting the URL up. The URL is right there with Kiki. Y'all have to remember that first 1 to 2 seconds, people are scrolling on their timelines. You got to do something to make people stop. They're not going to wait for you to go, So think about that hook. Really work on refining your hooks. Okay, Hallie? Work on refining your hooks. So it's like catching a fish. You want to hook them in that first 1 to 2 seconds. Then also use things, especially on TikTok, use things like Creator Search Insights. Creator Search Insights can help to boost your video because TikTok does this thing where they will boost videos more that come in through Creator Search Insights. Find a subject related to the topic that you need to talk about for Drumbeat and make that video through Creator Search Insights. That also helps to boost that video. And then reply to the comments that happen on your video. Okay? Especially as you keep moving, getting things up, and moving up the ranks. Let me know if you have any other questions, Hallie, but I am telling you, that's what I do. I'm not doing rocket science. I continue to do and keep repeating what works. What doesn't work, I leave it. I look at my analytics all the time. How long did they stay in this video? Oh, they fell off at this mark. What did I say at this point where people fell off? They don't really like that. But on this video, they watched all the way to the end. This was a subject. That's the way you got to look at this. A lot of this is about data. Look at the data. The data is going to tell you what people like and tell you what people don't like. So you give them more of what they like and leave behind what they don't. And the other thing I'll tell you is every platform is different. Who would bring a child into the world right now? I'm with you. I'm with you, shush. People still having babies. I look at them different because I go, I don't know if I was of childbirthing age, I would not be having babies. I'd be watching my uterus like a hawk. Oh no. It's just not the environment for having babies. It's just not. It's not safe. And parents have to work all the time. So your kids spend a lot of time raising themselves. Why? You got to work all the time. You said you never known with Tourette's, but I've read a lot. Oh, I worked with a guy with Tourette's before. I did. That's why I was like, the post I did was sarcasm. You know what I'm saying? It was sarcasm, but I have worked with a guy that had Tourette's. Now, his Tourette's was not bursting out saying things. His Tourette's was physical, actually, which I found interesting because I had never met a person before that their Tourette's was a physical thing. He never blurted out certain words. He would just he had this one move that almost looked like he was pop locking. I never forget it because I worked with him. We worked in sales together and he was a really great salesman. He was a great salesman. I still remember, Dane, I don't know where you are, but I still remember working with that guy. He was a great guy to work with. He just happened to have Tourette's. And over time, we got used to his tick. So it became something that we didn't even pay attention to anymore. And he was happy that we didn't pay attention to it. Because that was just a normal part of his personality and who he was. And at some point you just don't see it anymore. Oh, the ones you've seen had a twitch too. Yeah. So it didn't. Yeah. So people didn't get my sarcasm in the video. Of course, let me tell you something about the hood too. I'm going to tell you, I was making a joke about saying, send the person with Tourette's to the hood. And I bet you he won't say that no more. Let me tell you something else about the hood. Once the hood figures out that that's just how you are and it's nothing you could do about it, they give you grace too. But they still going to check your ass. Now they ain't going to put no pause on it, but they going to say, hey, Earl, listen, I know what you got going on, but you gonna have to chill the fuck out right now, okay? We trying to handle some business. And Earl will be like, okay. He'll try his best. And even if he can't control it, people still gonna give him grace. Yeah, Tourette's is very misunderstood because people think everybody has the same type of tick. For me, it wasn't even that he had the tick. I'm going to tell you what it was for me. For me, I'm going to tell you what my thought process was. So your tick when you saw these two black people was to say the N-word. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. Of all the words, why was it that one? Because then what my question becomes, well, what's his tick when he see Hispanic people? What's his tick when he see Indian people? What's his you understand my point? Because then I go, now wait a minute. You understand? Then I got this moment where I go, now, but I know it's a tick, but I still be looking at it like, bruh.
I watch a girl.
Girl, if you
I watched a girl that got Tourette's. Trust me. That girl that did that other thing, she meant that.
My daughter coming through. No, he meant that. He meant it. It's always so loud because they can't control the volume on it, Teal. That's why it's loud too. They can't control the volume on it. You know. You said maybe that means they finally stopped sterilizing women of color. Could be, but I'm gonna tell you something. I think that the reason why Hispanic women are having so many babies is because Hispanic men, by and large, are taking care of their families. Those women can have babies. They have a partner. They have a partner that's actively engaged. That's what's happening. That's what it is. But that's the part that ain't nobody talking about. You say tick is just an uncontrollable true feeling. Ooh, that is a controversial take. Because some people like to say a tick is not something you can control. I believe that you can't control a tick. But I go back to what I said. How come when he saw the black people, that was the tick? He didn't yell out donuts. You know what I mean? He didn't do none of that. He yelled out that. That was what was interesting to me. That I'm just keeping it a buck. Because I went, that's interesting to me. I'm just saying, of all the things he could have yelled out, he yelled that when he saw them. Did he say crackle when he saw white people? No. I'm hitting that joint like Bernie. Crackle. I almost spit out my own tea because I could see Bernie saying it in my mind. Crackle. I don't even remember what movie that was from. Well, I think it was from Head of State. I just don't remember. But I remember Bernie hitting that shit. No, it was from the Casino Heist movie. That's what it was from. That's what it was from. Yep, that's what it was from. I had to just think about that shit. I remember that shit. That shit, it made me howl. You say people, yep, Ocean's 11. That's where it was from. People hold back their true feelings normally. Yep, you're right. So that's what got it for me. I was just like, of all the things to say for your tick, that was what you said. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just saying, it just had me like, that's real coincidental. That's all I say to that. I'm curious, in the movie, they featured yeah, but it had nothing to do with the movie. And see, this is the thing. I saw comments too in my video going, well, black people use the N-word. All black people do not use that word. I don't know where people get that from. I know some black people that will whoop your ass. You call them that word. They don't give a fuck who say it. They like, don't call me that. So that is not a word that everybody in the black community is okay with. It causes a lot of division in even the black community. See, Zarvis is like, I'm one of them. A lot of people do not take kindly in the black community to being called that, even by somebody that look like them. They don't play that shit. They don't play that shit. So for some black people, it's a term of endearment. For some black people, it's how you gonna get your ass beat. So my whole thing is be mindful. That's the thing that I always tell people. Be mindful. Okay? Be mindful. That's all I'm going to say to that. Be mindful. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I am also of the mindset that word is beyond a color. Because I've seen that inward behavior in people that are not black. And black people know what I'm talking about. It's a behavior to me. It's a behavior. It's not a color. It's a behavior. Okay? It's a behavior. Y'all ain't never seen videos where people are like, say they about to fight each other or something. They not even black and they calling each other that name. And it's always interesting to me when I see that. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why are y'all calling each other that derogatory term? I've seen it. And I know y'all have seen it too. But that's how some people, but listen, I'm telling y'all, all black people ain't down with that word. They not. And some who are down with it got conditions on it. Meaning somebody I know can call me that. But if I don't know you and you being black, don't give you a pass to call me that. Catch that part. So that's why I said folks got to be careful. Now, I saw earlier in my chat, somebody asked me would Tony Gonzalez be standing next to the fire extinguisher, and I didn't get it. That's why I ain't say nothing. But now I see why you said that. It's always a GOP person. The party of family values. Who would have thought that they would also be messing around on their wives? Really? Of course. It's just what they do, man. It's just what they do. Period. It's literally just what they do. Hold on, I saw something. Yep, the call is always coming from inside the house. I'm telling y'all, that's why conservatives want, okay, I know some of you have read Project 2025. A lot of people haven't. But at a high level, I want to say this. A lot of what you see happening in your government is the rich and powerful, right? Wanting to indoctrinate more Americans into evangelicalism, not even Christianity. We're talking a mixture of evangelicalism with nationalism infused inside of it. Like those two things are together. That's what you're seeing. Those two things together. And they're trying to say, if you don't agree with everything your leaders want, you don't love America. And if you don't love America, you don't love God. None of that stuff is connected. They're purposefully connecting it. Thank you so much, Dumplings. They're purposefully connecting it. I love what Tallarico said recently. He said that government wanting the church to be intertwined with it, it takes the power away, which I think is a great position to take in this, because it gets people, religious people, to think, right? When you intertwine government and religion, it takes the power away from religion. If a religion really wants to remain powerful, really wants to remain having influence on people, it should not be in bed with government. It should not be in bed with government. And that needs to be how it's discussed with conservatives. As long as you continue to stay in bed with government, it's going to take away from the religion. It's going to take away from God's message. God doesn't need support from government to be heard. That's how it needs to be approached and to be said. That's why I say these people who are trying to infuse religion into government, they're not religious. They're trying to indoctrinate you, but they are not religious. This is why I keep saying that. This is not religious. Most of the people who are participating in this shit are not religious. And they're not patriotic. They're not patriots. They will not sacrifice for the better good of their country. They're nationalists. That's different. That's not the same thing. Most conservatives are nationalists. They're not patriots. They say the word patriot, but they don't even know what it means. They don't even know what it means. Thank you, Black Tom Jones. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Why did I do that? You know why I did that? I was watching Scooby-Doo the other day. I've been watching old Scooby-Doo episodes on Boomerang, and it was a Scooby-Doo episode came on where they had Tom Jones on it. I said, shit, I know this is old. Because there's no way you can put Tom Jones in a fucking cartoon these days. These kids will go, who? So that shit was old. Oh yeah, religion is used to control people. But so is government. And government realized the best way to control people is through religion. Religion is one of those things that is easy to control people and people won't question it. Right? And people will not question it. They'll just fall in line. No, it wasn't Fresh Prince. I do watch Fresh Prince. I watch it several days a week. But I happen to be watching Scooby-Doo this week. And Tom Jones was on the Scooby-Doo episode, and he was singing It's Not Unusual, and he had the curly hair and everything. I was laughing my ass off, like, it's Tom Jones and fucking Scooby-Doo. And it was the real Tom Jones at that. He said, my mommy loves Tom. I love me some Tom Jones, too. Listen, I love when Tom Jones was in Mars Attacks, and he was singing, and he was on stage, and he was like, dun, and then the Martians was back in the back. They was like, act, and they was dancing back there. Oh, I love that shit. I love that shit. Tom Jones was looking like, oh shit. I love me some Tom Jones. Listen, my mama loved Tom Jones too. Hold up, 21st Century Messiah. I think I'm showing my age. You don't know who Scooby-Doo is. My God, please tell me you didn't write Scooby-Doo with question marks because you don't know who Scooby-Doo is. I'm showing my age if you don't know who Scooby-Doo is. Ruh-roh. Because yesterday I saw a Scooby-Doo episode, because I was watching it yesterday too, because I turned it on for the dog, okay? I turned it on for Heidi, okay? Because she liked to watch cartoons. So they had the Scooby-Doo episode on yesterday where they was on this farm in the South, and Scooby-Doo and Shaggy was acting like they was from the South, and Scooby was over there milking a cow, had on a full beard. Shaggy had on a full beard. I laughed my ass off. No, it was the Mystery Machine. I laughed my ass off. Scooby-Doo was hilarious. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy were hilarious. Okay, the whole crew was funny. So I turned that on from time to time for Heidi to watch. She likes Scooby-Doo. She liked Bluey. She likes SpongeBob. I'm trying to think, is there another one she liked? Sometimes I put on like the Snorkels, like old school cartoons. She likes Snorkels. She likes Smurfs. She likes stuff like that. Because there was some cartoon on last night and they was fighting and stuff. And my daughter was like, why you not turning on the cartoons for her? I said, because I can't find nothing. And I don't put on them violent cartoons for my baby. I don't want her to get all violent and be having no ideas. Oh, you raised your boys on 80 cartoons? Those was the best cartoons. Them 70s and 80s cartoons, they was the best. You remember the Snorkels? That shit came on Boomerang the other day, and I was like, oh my God, the fucking Snorkels. So now I got the dog watching the Snorkels. Yep, she is a baby. She a big old baby. So I be having her watch the Snorkels, Smurfs, she led the Flintstones too. Oh, I remember Fraggle Rock. Down in Fraggle Rock. Don't play with me. Listen, I told y'all. Now, I ain't never showed her Thundercats. G.I. Joe, She-Ra, or He-Man. Or Transformers. I ain't never showed her none of that stuff. Oh, we were watching Hanna-Barbera the other day. We was watching Yogi Bear. Yep, she liked Yogi Bear too. Because we was watching that. We was watching Yogi Bear. Because we watched Scooby-Doo for so long, they started showing the Scooby-Doo episodes when Scrappy-Doo was on there. And so, you know, when Scrappy-Doo was on there, put him up, you know, Scrappy-Doo was doing his little thing. So she loves that stuff. And then we did watch a couple of episodes of Muggsy. Y'all remember Muggsy, that little dog, to be he be laughing and shit. We watched that. So I put on certain things. You hit that joint. Hey, boo boo. Listen, I love to watch my old school stuff. I just do. I love to watch old school stuff. I don't remember the gargoyles. Hold on, let me look that up. I know I'm gonna remember as soon as I see it. Look, as soon as I hit it, it said the gargoyles cartoons. I know as soon as I see it. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was gargoyles. And I said, no, ma'am, that's too much for my baby. Yep, because it was on Disney at the time. I said, no, we're not watching that. We're not watching that. They get a little too violent. And I didn't want my baby to be thinking that she get to act like that. I remember Darkwing Duck. Look, I'm going all the way back. Y'all remember Howard the Duck? You remember Howard the Duck, right? Man, stop playing with me. Howard the Duck, DuckTales. And the other day, I did see a Bugs Bunny cartoon. It was an old school joint. A Bugs Bunny cartoon with Daffy was on there too. And they was going rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season. And then Bugs catches on and goes, duck season. And then Daffy's like, duck season. And, and then Elmer shows up and handles Daffy. It was just like, Bugs was always getting that. Yeah, we been watch. She likes Tom and Jerry too. She does like Tom and Jerry. Oh, I used to love Roger Rabbit. Want me to tell you something that I caught on to last night when we were looking at cartoons? I said to myself, children will never know what it's like to have cartoons where the music is done by an actual orchestra. You know what I'm saying? We had music that was done by an orchestra. Like it was real instruments, not synthesizers, not that, like, because we were looking at some Bugs Bunny yesterday. And I said, oh my God, children will never know cartoons that actually had real music. And I thought about it. Think about all the songs we learned. We didn't even know we were learning songs. But we were learning actual songs, but they were instrumental versions put into cartoons. But we didn't know what those songs were. Like, for example, that was in cartoons. We didn't know that we were learning songs. We had no idea. We just saw people running and knew that was a song. We knew when we heard that somebody was doing something. Yep, we were being indoctrinated in them cartoons. We know, because quiet as kept, they were talking about being in the military. Those cartoons were indoctrinating when you think about it. It was about being in the military. Women needed to act a certain way. Men needed to act a certain way. Hey, good morning, Chef CC. So I remember back then, because like I said, watching it yesterday, and going, damn. Because when I look at the new age cartoons, they don't have the type of music that we had growing up with our cartoons. It was different. Just like, I remember the first time I showed my kids the movie, The Gremlins. Y'all remember the movie, The Gremlins, when that first came out when we were kids? Y'all remember that shit? Y'all remember that? I remember when that movie first came out. Look, and I want to check something because I don't remember. Right. Okay. And remember, The Gremlins is rated P-fucking-G. Okay? That movie was marketed to children. They were traumatizing the fuck out of us. I remember going to see my mama taking us to see that fucking movie. And I thought, because back then you didn't always see the trailers of movies, right? You just saw posters. So you really didn't know really what you was coming into. And seeing that movie, I remember I was fucking traumatized. When that movie was over, I thought Gremlins were in everything. I remember going home and being like, just thinking Gremlins were back in the day. Them fucking movies used to rock the shit out of us, and they were PG. Looking back on it now, that movie should have at least been PG-13. At least, okay? At least. But it's still, and I say it only still has a PG. Oh no, that's Gremlins 2 got a PG rating. I need to check Gremlins movie rating. Yeah, cause not Gremlins 2. Okay, they say Gremlins is famously rated PG, despite containing intense scenes of violence, horror, and creature mayhem. It is widely recognized as one of the two films, along with Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, that forced the MPAA to create the PG-13 rating. Because see, what y'all young people don't know, there was no PG-13 rating. There was PG, there was R, and there was X. That was it when we was growing up. That was it. Okay? You had them 3 ratings. All right? And if you wanted children to be able to see that movie, it got a PG rating, right? The only way you got R, it was due to nudity or something else. But it took a lot to get an R rating. You understand? It took a lot. They're saying, I didn't know this, but Gremlins and the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom are the reasons why MPAA created PG-13. That's why I keep telling y'all, youngins, y'all not raised like we were. We were seeing all kinds of shit. And they claimed it was PG. Do you know I saw Porky's in elementary school? Anybody remember Porky's? Stop playing with me. I saw Porky's in elementary school. Porky's 2, I was still in elementary school. What? Say it again. A lot of early movies. Hold up. I gotta find something. Because I am pretty sure this had a PG rating too. And I'm gonna tell you why. I think it should have been a different rating. Hold on. Oh no. Okay. Oh, I gotta check something because I'm like, okay. Okay. So I'm gonna give you an example of how hardcore our ratings were back in the day, right? So I looked up Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Y'all remember that, right? And the whole infamous Phoebe Cates in that movie, right? One of my favorite movies is Fast Time at Ridgemont High, right? I didn't know when that movie first came out, it got an X rating. Which back in the day, if your movie got an X rating, that was a nail in the coffin. Nobody was going to really see that movie because it had an X rating back in the day. Then they switched it to an R rating so it could be more widely. I didn't know that. But of course we wouldn't know that because we couldn't see X movies then. Because wasn't nobody going to let us in to see no X movie. Right. You wasn't making no money with X movies back in the day. Not back in the day. You had to be anywhere between PG, like I said, PG and R to make any money. Then they finally came up with PG-13. Yep, Poltergeist was rated PG. That fucking movie scared the shit out of me as a child. Oh my God, I just thought, oh my God, I didn't think about that. Hold up. But it was PG. Hold up. Now, I just learned something about it. I did not know this. When Poltergeist first came out, Okay. Initially, it got an R rating when it first came out. I didn't know that. By 24 reviewers from the MPAA, because back in the day, the MPAA was hard fucking core. They were hardcore back in the day about what they would allow to be a PG movie. In the beginning, they were wild and loose with it. Then they got real strict on it. Then at some point, they came up with PG-13 to have some middle ground, right? Because back in the day, if a children's movie got an R rating, that was a nail in the coffin. That movie, you could pretty much say it wasn't going to make no money. So you wanted to get in that PG pocket if you wanted kids and families to see your movie. They say at first it got an R rating due to the gory bathroom scene. Y'all remember the one with a man peeling his face and stuff? So it originally got an R rating because of that. But Steven Spielberg and Tobe Hooper disagreed with the R rating and succeeded in changing it to PG on appeal. They had to appeal to the MPAA to get it rated as PG. Because I'm telling you, if Poltergeist would have came out with an R rating, it never would have been the cult classic that it ended up being. Never. I guarantee you cash money on that. Cash money. See, back in the day when I was growing up, when cable came out, cable only had a couple of movies that they would put in the rotation. Only a couple of movies. Gremlins, Poltergeist, Rocky movies. That's how come us older people know Rocky movies so well. It wasn't a lot of movies on cable. It was always the same movies rotated over and over and over again. Always. It was never not the same movies. Real shit. Yep, Rambo, shit like that. It was always the same movies. So's coming in here knowing you're not American is real bad work. Get out of here with that page boy haircut. Look like somebody put a bowl on your head and cut your head. Get out of here. Ain't nobody talking about that. What was the movie with the man that had, oh, that's Hellraiser. That's Hellraiser. I saw Hellraiser when I was in middle school. We will tear your soul apart. That shit fucked me up. I saw that in middle school. We were looking at shit like that growing up. Real shit. We were looking at shit like that growing up. That's why I say a lot of this stuff now that the youngins be looking at, I'm like, oh, get this. I didn't know this either about Hellraiser. Hellraiser was initially given an X rating due to extreme graphic violence and getting it in. It was initially given an X rating. And back then, that was a nail in the coffin if you got an X rating, because then nobody was going to see your movie. So they say, so to secure an R rating for theatrical release, Barker cut scenes, including shots of the first Hammer unaliving, and shortened the intense flashback scenes. I remember that scene where he come up there in that room and she hit that man with that hammer and his lips and stuff was hanging off. Oh yes, honey. I remember. Hellraiser is a fucking classic. Hellraiser is a classic. And it's one of those movies you can't redo it. Because if you redo it, you take all the charm away. Hellraiser is like, it's corny, but it's good at the same time. Like that chick with the blue eyeshadow, you know, the chick. She going on and on about Frank. I can't remember her name, but the girl's stepmama. Oh, Phantasm. Phantasm was another movie that scared the shit out of me. Phantasm scared the shit out of me. But that used to come on TV all the time. Am I the only person? Listen, if you didn't have cable, we had regular TV, and all you had to do was have an antenna, and you can get all these channels. I remember Phantasm used to always come on fucking TV, and like a silly ass, I always used to watch it because that old man, he used to creep me the fuck out, but I couldn't not watch the shit. It was so fun. And get this. Look, I'm about to clue y'all in on something. When Phantasm first came out, it too had an X rating. Sure did. Largely due to violence. It also had an X rating. It's specifically the famous silver sphere scenes. Those who know, know. And the scene featuring the caretaker's death. Then what happens was they had to have intervention by the Los Angeles Times critic Charles Champlin, who called in a favor to the board, to the MPAA board, and got the rating downgraded to an R so it could be released. See, back in the day, man, so many of our movies just, you know, they were pushing the envelope. I'll say it like that. Then it got to a point. Okay, then I wanted to look up another movie I used to love. Y'all remember the Ghoulies? Not the Goonies, but the Ghoulies. Y'all remember them? The Ghoulies. With that little green bald-headed man and that little wolf-looking thing with the pointy teeth. Y'all remember them people? I used to love that. You don't remember that movie, Books to Inspire? You gotta look that up. Oh, I love the Ghoulies. Because the little green man used to come out of the toilet. See, I loved horror movies. I loved horror movies because my mother loved them. And so we watched a lot of horror movies. And the Ghoulies was one of those movies. And the Ghoulies was originally rated PG-13 because it had moderate horror violence, gore, and some of the language was a little extra. Yep. I had forgot about that. But when it first came out, it had an R rating. And then it got changed because they wanted to market it to kids. It got changed to a PG-13 rating. Yeah, I loved corny horror movies too. Because to me, the cornier the movie, the better it is to some degree. I'm going to give you an example of a corny movie. We got a lot of them. Look, some people may not agree with me, but I'm going to say it anyway. To me, Baby Boy is a corny movie. Baby Boy corny as shit. Baby Boy is corny as shit. Jody is a fucking corn ball. Do you understand? Jody is a corn ball. But what makes it so good is the corniness. That's what makes it so good. Cause Jody a big fucking baby. And that's what makes it so fun. Cause it's corny. I know that John Singleton didn't mean to do something corny, but that shit was corny. Cause Jody was corny as fuck. He was corny. I hate you, Jody. I hate you, Yvette. Oh, you that bum ass Jody got my boo all knocked up. Man. Snoop Dogg was so horrible in that movie because he couldn't act. I think that was the first role he ever got. He was horrible. He was horrible. It sounded like he was reading cue cards. Horrible. Horrible. Oh God, he was so bad. He was so bad. So Czar, go somewhere, you knuckle dragon fucker. Look, I blocked this person. He came, y'all couldn't even see his message because TikTok had blocked it automatically. He come back, oh, you blocked me and you think I'm not going to come back? I'm going to block you again. Oh, I thought I was the only person that loves those fucking Sharknado movies. I love fucking Sharknado movies. They were the corniest shits on earth. Oh, that's the dude you reported, so you got mad. I used to love them Sharknado movies. Not just the Sharknado movies. I'm going to tell you another stack of movies. Them fucking Piranha movies. I can't be the only person that loved them corny ass Piranha movies. Where all those spring breakers go to the lake. They just partying their ass off. Hey, they partying like shit. Then you see up under the ocean in the water, up under the water in the lake, with them fucking piranhas come out that little crack. My favorite scene in that whole fucking movie is my eggplant. My eggplant, man. I think that scene alone. The whole movie is worth it just to wait for that fucking scene. Just to wait for that fucking scene. They had eaten bruh. They ate bruh all the way from his torso all the way down to his toes. The only thing he cared about was his eggplant. He like, fuck them toes, fuck them legs, fuck them all. Where is my eggplant? That's all he cared about. That's all he cared about. I love that part of the movie. And when Ving Rhames took that motor off that boat and he was just slicing up the piranha fish all in the water. I'm sorry. I love corny shit like that. I do. I can't explain why I do. I've always liked corny ass movies like that because it's funny, but you might jump here or there, but the shit's hilarious. Yeah, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I like the original ones, not those newbies they be trying to do. But I like the first one. I like the second one. But can we be honest? Folks wasn't looking at those movies because they were fun. They were looking at those movies because of Jennifer Love Hewitt's. You know, her love Hewitt's up top. That's why they were looking at it. Oh, Scream 1 is the best because Scream 1 has the perfect combination of humor and horror. Oh, Lake Placid is a favorite. Lake Placid is a favorite because Betty White's character was feeding them cows to that damn thing. She was feeding them cows to that thing. She like, listen, he don't bother me. She's like, he don't bother me. He's fine. Leave him alone. I was like, bruh, I love corny shit like that. I love corny shit like that. You say you left the movies after. I did look at Scream 2, but I didn't like it as much as 1. To me, nothing can replace the beauty that is the first Scream. The first Scream, okay, I still remember when Scream came out, right? And Scream, and they had been promoting Scream and trailers were out, but we really didn't know a whole lot about it. And I remember going to see that movie, and right in the beginning, you see Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore was an A-list star, and she still is. But at the time, Drew Barrymore was in all types of movies at the time still. So you see Drew Barrymore in this scene in the beginning of the movie, and you thinking, okay, that's kind of cool. Drew Barrymore in here, because I don't even think they advertised that Drew Barrymore was in the movie. I don't even think they advertised that. So you're in the movie and you're watching, you're like, okay, Drew Barrymore. You're not expecting her to die so early on because it's Drew fucking Barrymore. You're like, okay. But when they got rid of her in the very first scene of the damn movie, it was like, that shocked all of us. Because Drew Barrymore, I think that was the first movie we've ever seen her die in. Now that I think about it, that was the first one, was Scream. And everything else Drew Barrymore has ever been in that we had seen her in up to that point, she was always this great character. She was always, oh yeah, I remember her in Firestarter. I love Firestarter. That was a great movie. And Patrick Swayze's brother was who played her daddy in that movie because I always remember him. I always remember, if I'm not mistaken, that was Pat. Oh, it might not have been. Hold up. I got to check it out because I could be wrong. They did it again in 2022. I didn't watch that shit. I was like, I'm not watching that bullshit. I'm not watching that at all. No, actually, that's not Patrick Swayze's brother. He just always looked like he could be Patrick Swayze's cousin. Yeah, David Keith. He don't look like Patrick Swayze. He looked like back in the day. He looked like Patrick Swayze back in the day. Oh, I used to love Carrie too. I love Carrie. Carrie scared the shit out of me. That was one of them. My mama rented that shit from Earl's Video. See, I'm showing my age now. My mama rented that video from Earl's Video. And I remember we watched it. And I remember I couldn't go to sleep for weeks because I kept reliving. Oh, look. So Czar's back again and you gonna get blocked again, bitch. Bye. Look, they keep creating new accounts and keep coming back. Bitch, you blocked me. Sure did. The fuck? I'm telling y'all, there are a lot of unstable people on the internet who need friends. Just ask me to be your friend. I have more. Will you be my friend? No, but I'd rather you ask. Like the fuck? I will not be ignored, Dan. Like the fuck? You said Patrick Swayze did a photo op in Albuquerque. My friend's dad said, yeah, go ahead, ride through. Man, I used to love me some Patrick Swayze. Just like, fuck that new Roadhouse. I still look at that old Roadhouse. Anytime that old Roadhouse is on TV, I watch that shit every time. Patrick Swayze kicking ass in boots, cowboy boots. Shit. I don't know what y'all talking about. I used to use she's not a Christian woman as a bit on I love that, Kim. I love it. Yeah, I'm like, I just remember the type of movies and the stuff that they gave kids access to back in the day. They would just let us watch shit and nobody would even just explain stuff to us. They would just say, hey, watch that. And honestly, it wasn't, we didn't have a hard time. Yeah, I remember The Hitchhiker. I had to look that up. I remember that because that was on HBO. I remember that shit. I remember that. Creepy, another creepy thing because me and my cousins used to watch it. Yeah, we are built, Gen X, we are built very different because we had access to different things. We had access to stuff and people just kind of just leave us alone. Oh, The Hitcher. Okay, I thought you were saying The Hitchhiker because I remember The Hitchhiker too. That came out in 83. Where they say eyes old. Eyes old. Oh yeah, I remember him because this guy, what's his name? Rutger Hauer. I guess that's how you say his name. That man is my childhood. That man was in so many fucking movies growing up for me. It's not even funny. Just like, did y'all see that Richard Carradine passed away? I saw that announcement this morning and I said, oh my God, that man is my childhood. Because back then, like I said, HBO only showed a handful of movies repeatedly. And Revenge of the Nerds was one of them. Revenge of the Nerds was one of them. And so for me, I always remember him from Revenge of the Nerds. No matter what else he's been in, no matter what else any of them have done, I hold a soft spot in my heart for Revenge of the Nerds. That guy, that other guy, hold up. I gotta think of his, I want to use his real name. Hold on. I want to use his real name. Curtis Armstrong, the guy who played Booger, he always Booger to me. I don't care what movie he's in. He's always Booger. He's always Booger. I can't help it. I can't help it. Anthony Edwards is always Gilbert. Always. No matter what movie he's in. I can't help it. I just can't. Because I grew up on these movies. I grew up because it was all we had to watch. Yeah, I didn't know he was the dad in Lizzie McGuire. My daughter said it to me because she said, did you see the dad from Lizzie McGuire died? And I was like, so I said, who? I heard Robert Carradine died. She was like, was that his real name? He was the dad on Lizzie. I said, I never watched Lizzie McGuire. That wasn't my age group. But I think of him from Revenge of the Nerds. So if you ain't never seen Revenge of the Nerds, watch that fucking movie. It's a great movie. It is still one of those movies that makes me cry. And I'm going to tell you the part that I cry at. Y'all already know the part that I cry at. I cry at the part when Gilbert gets beat up by the jocks and he gets thrown into the water and he's upset and he gets on the stage and he gets the microphone and he gets on the stage and he starts talking about all the things that people have done to him. All the stuff people did to him. This, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. And the black guys from the black fraternity show up. I remember even as a kid being so proud. Like, look at them brothers, man. Them brothers were standing there like, oh, they ride with us. They in our frat. So, and I remember the brothers had on their sweaters with their letters, and they just stood there like, y'all gonna let him talk because he one of our brothers. All of them are part of our chapter. Man, that shit was so fucking cool. And let me say, Bernie Casey, I always remembered him from that movie. No matter what Bernie Casey was in, because of Revenge of the Nerds, I always had a soft space in my heart for me. Always had a soft space in my heart for me. And I'm gonna tell you something. John Goodman was the coach on Revenge of the Nerds. It took a lot for me to like him on Roseanne. Like when I first saw him on Roseanne, I was like, that's the football coach. He was a butthole. It took a lot for me to like him because the first time I ever saw John Goodman that I can remember, he was the coach for the football team on Revenge of the Nerds. That was the very first time. So I never forgot that. I never forgot it. But that was the dude. That was the dude. I had forgotten all. I'm looking at this list of people who acted in this movie, and a lot of them have since passed away. Some are still alive. But Timothy Busfield, no matter what he's in, he's Arnold Poindexter to me. No matter what he's in, he's always going to be that for me because it's my childhood, right? You don't forget about your childhood, especially if you had a good one. You don't forget about it. But I will always remember him for that. Or Ted McGinley. He played Stan. Stan was a butt in that movie. But then I fell in love with him when he was on Married with Children. He treated Marcy so fucking bad, but I loved him on Married with Children because he was a house husband on Married with Children. I remember this. Wow, this is bringing back so many memories. So seeing that Robert Carradine passed away, that hurt my heart. That hurt my heart because I was like, damn, but he passed away yesterday. Yep. He passed away yesterday. Yeah. So I didn't know that. And can I be honest? All this time, I did not know that his brother was David Carradine. I ain't make that connection because I didn't care. Because to me, Robert Carradine, he was so much a part of my childhood that, you know what I'm saying? He was so much that's all I cared about. I'm losing so much of my childhood, You're right, dude. I'm losing just a lot of my childhood and I'm having to readjust to that. Because it also reminds me, bitch, you old. But that's okay. Or you was born in 86? Chill. I was already 11, chill. I'm old, beloved. Yeah, I didn't know that Keith Carradine was his daddy because his brother. I never paid attention. And yeah, they kind of look alike. But you know what? Back in the day, you could have a lot of siblings come from one family, but they all kind of stand on their own feet. You know what I'm saying? So you just kind of like, damn, you graduated from high school in 86. Hey, I ain't mad at you, Miss Lola. You look good, girl. You look good. I just remember back in the day, it was just, what a time to be alive. I'll just say it like that. That's really the only way to explain it. It was a different time then. But what a time to be alive. We had fun. And when we went out and hung out with each other, we had a great damn time and nobody got to record it. The most you could have was a Polaroid. That was it. You had to be there. And if you weren't there, you missed out. Oh, I see you 73. Okay. Oh, it was fun growing up in the 80s. It was fun growing up in the 80s. Like not having to always be accessible to people at all times. I'm telling you, that's what I miss. That's what I missed. I come from a time that when you left the house, if people wanted to get in contact with you, they had to wait till you got back home. There was no concept of calling you on the cell phone when you're out. No, you had to plan things. When you went and had a fun night out with people, there were memories created and no one had them on recorded. I still remember when the camcorder came out. When the camcorder came out, everybody ain't had no fucking camcorder. Camcorder was for people with shmoney. If you ain't had no shmoney, you ain't had no home camcorder. You just had to be there. That's it. Yep, I remember using pay phones and shit. It was a different time. It was just a different time. You know? Yep, we played outside till the street lights come on. Back in our day, we would go outside and play all day. All day. We didn't do no in and out. Because if you did in and out, if you came in too many times, they would make your punk ass stay in the house. So you didn't do that. You were strategic with your time. We stayed out there all day long. All day long. That's just what we did. And we loved every minute of that shit. We loved it. Hot, sweaty. That's where the term, listen, and I know we all heard this before. That's where the term, you smell like outside come from. That phrase. Because back in the day, we all used to smell like outside. We would come in the house and our mama would say, you smell like outside. It's time for you to go take a bath. Because we were outside all day. And don't have a bicycle. Not only are you outside all day, you all over town. You all over town. And when I say all over town, I mean you're all over town. Your mom and daddy don't know where you at. You'll just get home when long as you home before them street lights come on, you good. That was the catch. Your mama didn't care. Your mom and daddy really didn't care where you went. You just had to be home before them damn street lights came on. You do that, you good. That's how I grew up. And so I miss that time. I ain't gonna lie, I miss it. We had some good times. Hell, I still remember back in the day when award shows came on, if you wanted to see them, you just had to be home. We didn't have no way to record them. This was before VHS or Betamax was first. This was before a Betamax or a VHS player. You had to be home. If you wanted to see what Michael Jackson perform on an award show, your punk ass had to be home, sitting down, watching it. That was the only way you was going to see it. If you wasn't home when when that award show came on, you didn't get to see it. And guess what? They didn't re-air them either. It was one hit or quitter. That award show come on one time. That's it. That's it. You don't get to see it no more. You might read about something in the magazines whenever the magazine come out, but if you didn't see it that night, you will never see it. See, people take for granted the ability to pause and record and the re-airing of things, going on YouTube, watching shit over and over and over. People take that for granted. They really do. They take that shit for granted, but we didn't have that. We didn't have that. Y'all, this is so funny to watch them come. All these little incels that don't have no woman, they come in, they be so upset. Imagine pretending to be a woman on the internet. But anyway, you know, I'm just, y'all, some of the messages that I get in the live, y'all don't get to see. They are mad with me this morning, honey. They are mad. I think it's also because I put up that video right before I came in live that said men need to stop being in public in pajama pants. Because that's like a part of the bad bitch uniform. And they need to stop wearing that shit. Stop wearing pajama pants in public. Stop putting your Crocs in sport mode and shit. Because if you keep doing that shit, I'm going to give you a crossbody bag and a caramel latte so you could be like one of the bad bitches out here. That's why they mad. Look, they back again. Look, I'm back again. Still back with it. Still back and still gonna catch that block. Imagine how thirsty you gotta be to keep coming back on different accounts. Y'all didn't get to see the message. The system blocks it so I can see the message, but y'all can't see it. The person say, I'm back again. You keep blocking me. This is like the 8th time. Talk about desperation, my love. Oh my God. Yeah, there are a lot of unstable men in America. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. No, y'all didn't get to see it because the system automatically blocks it. So it lets, because it kind of has picked up on, maybe you don't like this. So TikTok already catching it going, oh, well, you may not like that. We're going to put this in the queue for you to review. And I instantly know who it is, so I block it. Like, and I boot them out and they just keep coming back. So, you know, right now they typing their ass off. That black bitch kick me out, fucking bitch. Listen, y'all, I got to start wrapping up anyway so I can finish recording my podcast this morning. I ain't going to play with these people this morning. But I am going to get them in their feelings today because I got a lot of other content that I need to record today. Like, I'm going to ask y'all a question. I thought about this the other day. And it's not a bad thing. Hasn't Patti LaBelle looked the same age for the last 20, 30 years? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Hasn't Patti LaBelle has looked the same for the past 20, 30 years now. She's a fucking vampire. You just got a bread maker. I'll post that calzone thing today, Twiz. I'll post it today for you. I'll work on that. I tell you, she's a vampire. Cause I gotta make, cause I said to myself, I gotta make a video about that. Patti fucking LaBelle has been literally frozen in time for the last 20, 30 years of my life. For the last 20, 30 years of my life, that woman has been the same. Yeah, Patti looked good. And it's also a testament to taking care of herself. But she been looking the same for the last 20, 30 years. The bitch still wearing 4.5-inch heels. Like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. And I want answers. So I'm going to do a video about that this week too. I'm going to do it today. Because I have conversations with myself in here. And that was one of the conversations I had with myself. Like, damn, Patti LaBelle been that same age for a long time. It's something in the water. Like, Miss Patti need to give up her secrets of longevity. Like, you know how some people usually tell you like their secret to aging? Patti LaBelle, fuck them pies. You understand? This is why I say it. Fuck those pies. Miss Patti need to talk about her skincare. Okay? Some of it's probably plastic surgery. I know some of it's that. I'm sure it is. But I'm telling you, some of it's good skincare. That's the shit Miss Patti need to share. Man, fuck them pies, man. Real shit. Fuck them pies, man. I want answers. What is your skincare regimen? Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Oh, I know your skincare on point, Miss Lola. You need to do videos about it. So you really do. Share your skincare regimen. Say it again. Patti LaBelle been gatekeeping for decades. Look, that might be my hook. Patti LaBelle get on my nerves because she stay gatekeeping. I don't know if Hallie, if you still in here, but that's an example of a hook, right? Because think about it. If you scrolling on your timeline and you see me pop up and say, Patti LaBelle need to quit hating and stop gatekeeping. That's why she get on my damn nerves. People love Patti LaBelle. They love Patti LaBelle. So they see some shit like that. They like, hold the fuck up. I know she not coming from Miss Patti. That's how you get them in. Thank you. Look, I put some Vaseline. Look. Korean skincare and Vaseline. These two things right here. That's what I use. But that's why I'm going, Miss Patty. Miss Patty needs to come to the front of the congregation and explain herself. That's what I need her to do. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that video today too. I'm working on that video today. Oh, Korean skincare is unmatched. And I'm gonna give y'all a tip on buying your Korean skincare. If you can catch it on TikTok when they have coupons, get it here. But another place to get it, go to TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx got shitloads of Korean skincare on their shelves. And a lot of good shit too. Take your ass to TJ Maxx because they keep the Korean skincare on lock. Burlington don't really buy Korean skincare that much. You can find stuff here or there, but they don't really have it. TJ Maxx, yeah, Marshalls too, which is owned by TJ Maxx. You know, they're all owned by that same parent company. They also have a lot of Korean skincare on their shelves. Go get that shit. Just dig through it. Because see, I'm going to tell you something. Most of the women that come into TJ Maxx and Marshalls, they come to get facial products, they don't even pay attention to the Korean skincare shit. So you have a lot of options to choose from because those women are not there for that. What's the name of that face wash? Which one? For me, I like to use turmeric. Turmeric facial skin bars or the turmeric soap in a pump bottle. That's what I use to wash my face with. I use that because it don't dry me out afterwards. I use that, and then I use Korean moisturizers and other things, and then I still put my Vaseline on top in the winter, especially because it's cold out this motherfucker, and Vaseline's a great barrier. Yeah, Korean skincare. Koreans have figured out how to do great skincare. Why? Because women in Korea always want to look young. I don't give a fuck about looking young. I just don't want to be ashy. Yep, that snail mucin ain't no joke. Or as they like to say in some circles, that snail mucus. Since they don't like to say mucin, they say snail mucus. You know? But I'm telling you, Korean skincare combined with Vaseline, and I'm going to tell you another deep cleaning astringent I use on my face before I even wash my face. I told y'all I use witch hazel. I put witch hazel on a little square, cotton round, and then I do a deep cleaning on my face with that and get all that deep dirt off before I even wash my face. Because washing your face with soap is not going to get it clean enough. If you want a deep clean, you first got to clean your pores and clean your skin off with just some witch hazel, a little bit of witch hazel on a cotton round. And then once you do that little bit of witch hazel on a cotton round, they still cutting up Dog Charlie. I didn't see them. Before I wash my face, because washing your face is not going to get it totally clean. I do it every day in the morning and at night. Even when I get up in the morning, I don't wash my face in the morning. Surprisingly, I do not. I only wash it with soap at night, with the facial cleanser at night. But every morning and every evening, I always take a cotton round, put a little bit of witch hazel on it, and I clean my face and my neck, the front and the back of my neck with that cotton round. And I keep doing that until that comes off clean. Then I wash my face. But in the mornings, I only clean it off with the witch hazel. Then I put on and I guess you could say it's kind of like a toner / cleanser, that witch hazel, but that's what I use because witch hazel is cheap. Witch hazel is cheaper than toner. Catch it. And I buy witch hazel, I buy generic. It don't have to be name brand for me. I buy what's the cheapest. I'm just telling y'all because alcohol will dry you out, but that witch hazel don't dry you out. That's what I do. Oh, she got egg on her sweater. See, you good, mommy. Because back in the day, if I would have called my mama, she'd be like, you be okay. She ain't bringing me shit. Look, we got another one in here. Y'all, okay, thank you, Maud. I was about to block them too, but they keep coming back. Listen, y'all have a beautiful and blessed day today, okay? I will be back this afternoon. We're not going to do an Uncensored Live this morning because I got to finish recording this podcast today. But tomorrow, y'all, on Patreon, I got even more Epstein shit. Oh, we talking tomorrow, okay? And the reason why I say I got even more Epstein shit is for one specific reason, right? I saw some shit that 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 had me like, huh? Okay, so I can't say the whole thing, but I'll say this. Uh there is the US ambassador to Mexico. I'm gonna say it again. Angel, you're disappointed in Democrats. I'm disappointed in bad built women that are still conservatives. Go have a baby and make somebody a sandwich. Nobody fucking cares. Bitch, you telling me shit I don't care about. Anyway, the US ambassador to Mexico is in those Epstein files. I'm gonna just say that. He's in the files, and we're gonna talk about it on Patreon tomorrow. And what he did in those files, he should be in jail. But remember, Pam Bondi said there's nothing else they could do. It's nobody else to charge. Remember, Cash Patel said, oh no, it's not really nobody there. There's nothing going on. They're covering for it. That's all I'm gonna just keep saying. They're covering for it. See, the media isn't really digging through those files. Not the way regular people are. And regular people are digging through and exposing shit. And now the media want to come along and act like they care. They don't give a shit because they're very owners, the people who own those media companies, some of them are in the files. Yep. And Trump said we're supposed to let it go. I forgot Zarvis. He did say that. I forgot that. So tomorrow, you guys, we're going to have a great discussion about that, okay? I want y'all to have a beautiful day today, okay? Don't let nobody move your spirit. Thank y'all for the 83,000 likes. We got almost 150 shares. Thank you so much for that. I want to send a shout out to my top 5 gifters today. Number 1, the Black Tom Jones. Thank you. Thank you, handsome. Number 2, beautiful dumplings. Number 3, beautiful, my dog is Charlie. Thank you so much for the help with moderation today. Number 4, beautiful Shane. Number 5, beautiful Miss Lola. Plus, Lola, I love your hair. And a special shout out to number 6, Twiz. Thank you so much, handsome. Listen, y'all have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you to all the mods today for helping me out because MAGA was in this thing today. They mad. Good. That means I'm doing my job. Have a beautiful, I'll be back today about 5-ish. Yeah, because I don't have to pick the oldest is off work today and I just have to drop off the youngest at work today. And I wasn't on last night because I had to handle mommy stuff. And so I was like, let me just deal with all these things. They may be in their 20s, but 20s is still needing your mama, no matter what people say. And I feel like it's a privilege and an honor to still be needed. Because most of the time they act like they don't know me. They be like, that's my mother over there. Don't look at her. She'll come over here. Yeah, I will. And I come over dancing, shaking my shoulders and shit. They hate that shit. I don't care. Y'all have a beautiful and blessed day today. Don't let nobody live rent free in your head. Don't feed any trolls. And you can accomplish anything you put your mind to as long as you stay consistent. Peace, everybody. And I'll see you this afternoon. Love you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.